Alright everyone, welcome back. Lord Advance here. Welcome to episode 2 of the playthrough. One thing I wanted to clear up really quickly was I realized at the beginning of the last episode I did call this a walkthrough. Walkthrough suggests that we're trying to get 100% completion. This is in fact a playthrough. We are not worried about 100% completion just because the world is so massive. So I just wanted to clarify, this is actually just a playthrough, not a walkthrough. Another thing, while I was not recording, I went ahead and farmed this area, this little hill right up to the north to try to get the Lord Sworn Straight Sword. I was unsuccessful and instead managed to get one extra smithing stone, a good bit of bolts and Lord Sworn's bolts, as you can see, and a pair of gauntlets. I also got over 4,000 runes while trying to get the straight sword, and each one of those guys only gives about 70 runes. So, you know, you can do the math and figure out how many run-throughs I did trying to get that straight sword. But there's a spot later on in the game where we'll be able to get that straight sword anyway, so we'll just wait till then. Anyways, now that I have over 4,000 runes, I'm gonna go ahead and level up again. Let's see, from here we're gonna fast travel back to Gatefront. From Gatefront, we're gonna head to a couple of quest line NPCs. One of which will give the weapon skills that I mentioned earlier. And let's see, run up through here. I believe the tree is in this area. Oh, one of which gives the skills I mentioned for the weapons earlier, and the other gives another summonable spirit. So we're gonna go ahead and pick that up and be on our way. As you can see, that object in the center over there was a trap, so do not fall for that. One of my favorite things to do in this game is to just be riding by some random guy who's, you know, just trying to work his 9 to 5 and give him a good smack with a great sword. And just, you know, keep running. No explanations given. Alright, so you want to make your way over to the shack. We went the way that we went specifically to get the seed and the upgrade materials for your weapons. I'm gonna come through and activate this grace. Pick up our stone sword key. And then talk to Rodrigo over here.
They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken. Did you know?
So I don't know Rodrigo's whole story, but basically she is a Tarnished and her people got grafted trying to help her follow her duty, and now she's too scared to do it herself. So because she's too scared to do it, she gives you the spirit, which is like a jellyfish, in hopes that you'll do it in her stead. Which, you know, is the whole point of this anyways. Another thing to consider later, she will move to a different area of the game, and another golden seed, which you can use to increase the number of flasks you have, will be here in her stead. So you may want to keep that in mind and just come back for that seed later. Let's see. From here, you want to head to the east. There's going to be another shack over this way where you can get the weapon skills that I mentioned. Correction, over this way. This is another enemy a lot like the knight from before. I would kind of suggest waiting to fight, but you know, if you're good at sneaking around and getting the backstabs, then you can... Ooh, a dismounter. Alright, just got one of my favorite weapons in this game. No big deal. But like I was saying, if you're pretty good at dodging their blows and getting a backstab, then, you know, by all means, take them out. Took another dismounter. Alright. I couldn't get a single straight sword earlier, and I'm 2 for 2 on dismounters. Okay. In case you were curious, the reason the dismounter is one of my favorite weapons is like the aesthetic alone. I mean, it's a pretty decent weapon, but the aesthetic is like awesome. Let's see, I have 1900. You come talk to this dude. You can technically kill him here. He carries a legendary weapon, but I believe if you do that, you lose out on the opportunity to get the armor and to complete the rest of his quest line.
Yes, takes me back. Any interest? All I know, now's the time.
Alright, so these are the skills that he carries. There are several more throughout the game. The only one I'm interested in right now is no skill. Sounds weird, but like, why do you want a skill that gives you no skill? Well, I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier or not, but I am taking the skill away from the shield, the ability to parry, because I'm not good at parrying, and I'm adding no skill. So before, I would have to be two-handing the weapon like this to use the weapon art. Now, instead of parrying the shield, I can be one-handing the weapon and use the weapon art. You know, pretty convenient skill to have if you're not good at parrying. And like, if the only thing you're really interested in is PvE anyways, then parrying's not super important to begin with. Here, and then I believe it is over this way. No. These little red globs on the ground are root resin, which you can use to craft several items later on. I would suggest picking them up, especially right there. Root resin will respawn when you reset the world. So right there, you can get like what the most I've ever gotten from one glob is 2. So you can get somewhere between 3 and 6 root resins every single time you reset the world and take like 3 steps. That's probably one of the better places to farm root resin. That statue there can only be broken by giants, so that's why we wasn't supposed to do that yet. That's why we're having them kind of run over this way while we kind of aggroed them. Well, that dude is stuck. Alright. Yeah, we wanted the smithing stones that were hidden in that statue. Alright, so through here, actually I'm gonna get back on Torrent, and so there's a knight and some dogs here. I like to come through and go around like I'm leaving the camp, and then come back up this little cliff here. The reason I come around like that is to kind of keep that knight from aggroing on me. You know, I took out the one earlier, but it's much more difficult to deal with them when the rest of the camp is aggroing on you as well. If you started out with the samurai or another build that didn't start out with a shield, you can actually come to this spot on the map, and there's a free shield there in the chest. All you have to do is get it out without getting killed. Come up here for a friend.
Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello? Oh, my stuck. I am Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. And as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help? My thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear with some, and I'll pop clean out, I'm sure. Don't dally. Give it your all, I say. Oh, that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me. Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like you to have this.
So Alexander is one of the few NPCs in the game where you don't really have to like exhaust his dialogue all the way for him to keep popping up. So you know, if you're one of those, it's like, I'm gonna miss it, I'm gonna miss it, I'm gonna miss it. As far as I know, you don't really have to worry about that with Alexander, at least. So we want to keep going in this direction, but if you're interested in the samurai build, or maybe you didn't want to start out as a samurai, but you know, you like the katanas, or you really wanted the Uchigatana to start with, if you come right up this way, and I will show it on the map for you here. It is, let me go ahead and remove this first. It is right here. So here is War Master's Shack. Here is the Saints Bridge. There's a little pile of rocks right here. You can come up, and then immediately to the left there's a door to some catacombs. And you can actually get the Uchigatana out of here without killing a single enemy. I'm just gonna run through real quick, grab the Uchigatana, and then I'm gonna make my way back out just so you guys know where it's at. Boom, Uchigatana. And In this game, I believe the Uchikatana requires 11 strength and 15 dexterity, as opposed to in the original Souls game, it was like 14 strength and 14 dexterity. So if you're like wanting to do an all dex build, the katanas have been changed a little bit and they are significantly better in this game. Alright, and now that we're back at this grace point, we're gonna go ahead and cross the bridge. These pumpkin heads here, I can't remember what they're actually called. I think I actually heard Fighting Cowboy call them pumpkin heads. They're big, intimidating, they're strong. A couple of hits will take you out, but they're actually pretty easy to fight. All you have to do is circle around them. If you can, I mean, it's just like every other enemy in this game. If you can get behind them, they actually take a significant amount of damage.
I'm afraid of.
As you can see, these merchants pop up everywhere. Well, not everywhere. They have set destinations, like right here. You can't really see them because I'm right on top of them, but if I come back to Church of El, you can see there's a little signal there that means there's an NPC there, and it actually tells you, hey, this one's a merchant. But if you see something that you really like from these merchants, I suggest getting it while you have the opportunity, because some of these guys leave and change locations, or they go on quests and die. So, you know, if you choose to wait on buying something from a merchant, you might not get the opportunity to buy it later. We're going to keep running down this hill. There's a grace down here at the bottom. You can already see there's like a weird enemy out there in the water. That is like the first Deathroot enemy that you would normally encounter, but we're not at a level to take him out yet, so we're not going to really bother with him. We're going to run around the outskirts of his little camp, because there is an item in here that we want. You just kind of run around, stay to the right, and when you see these turtles over here, you know you're getting close. And we're going to use the stone sword key we picked up earlier to come in here and get our first medallion. Now, in this one, I think just because it's like the green turtle medallion, or talisman, my bad. It's like the green turtle talisman. There's a bunch of turtles in here. And, you know, turtles are non-hostile. But normally, the norm is when you come down here and you open that door, there are enemies on the other side. So just be prepared for in the future, it's not always going to be some cute turtles hanging around. Alright, little red guy here. If I don't have any need to really, but if you were low on your Crimson Tears and you killed him, it would refill your Crimson Tears. Another thing to mention is whenever you see coffins like this, it's a good idea to check it out, because they usually have runes. As far as I know, the value of the runes never changes. Like these runes have changed spots on me, like they've changed coffins, but the number of runes and the value of each room is generally always the same. We're gonna run over here to this gush of wind and jump. That gush of wind is the only reason we survived that fall. It's what are they called? Spirit springs or something like that. They make it to where you can jump really high, or they cushion your fall if you need to jump down from somewhere. If you notice, that one did not have a color. It was all gray. Those are the ones that carry skills for your weapons. That one in particular carries the Sacred Blade, which would be really useful in the Death-Touched Catacombs where we got the Uchigatana. If you apply that to a weapon and use the skill, normally what would happen is with skeletons, when you kill them, they will revive unless you hit them again while they're down. When you use the Sacred Blade, which is what we just picked up, or anything that applies holy damage to a weapon, as soon as you kill them, they don't revive. So, really useful for that kind of enemy. And I'm gonna go ahead and equip it anyways, even though we're not doing that catacomb, just because my weapon's base damage is 150 right now. I'm sorry. It is, oh, that's because this is a different skill. My weapon's base damage is 161 right now. When I attach the Sacred Blade, what's that? It's 196 plus 10 is 206 when you attach Sacred Blade. Oh, I forgot to increase the value of my flasks using the tier that we picked up. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, I am going to be showing a good farming area. So if you're the kind of person that's like, I need to farm and level up really well, then the next episode's the episode for you. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.